So the phone is not longer a phone. It's more your bank, it's your map, it's your entertainment.
So when you're talking about what sounds like probably disruptive innovation, what is one of the biggest myths about this concept of first in class, either drug or device, and the clinical benefit? Is that something that you think of synonymously with disruptive innovation, or is it some kind of misused?
I don't know if you planned this question or what, but I published a paper on that. And I will say,
I saw that.
I just did a paper, yes. So, fun fact with first-in-class on all these drugs is, it seems that they are incremental. It seems that a lot of drugs nowadays it's incremental because big pharmas and companies, it costs a lot of money, right? And for example, if you and I want to develop a new drug, is going to be, I don't know, a couple of $1 million, perhaps, to try to do the first research. And we know that it's going to take, but that for Pfizer or for very big pharmas, they will say, hey, I'm not going to spend my time on that. You just go and find people in Silicon Valley or Boston that are going to give you money. And then what it's going to do when you start see that the startup that you and I created, then the big companies that start seeing that we are taking market out of them, they will say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, we're taking your market out of you. When did you start doing that? I don't know, like 5, 7 years ago, and I already told you. And they say, okay, I'll buy you. Or because I can't compete against you, it's going to be easier for me to buy you out. Well, the same that happens, for example, with the famous case of Netflix and Blockbuster. The Blockbuster wanted to buy Netflix for X amount of money. Netflix say, buy me for this money, and Blockbuster say, no, we don't want to buy you. And then when they wanted to buy them out, they buy them again, it was impossible. The same happened with Yahoo, and I think it was Google. But most of the big technology, most of the big corporations, they don't care much about disruptive in the sense of saying technologies that the first in class, it's like a kind of a me too of other drugs. So
would you consider NVIDIA with disruptive technology?
At this point, they are sustaining. So when you want to find something that is disruptive, this is disruptive innovation, right? You have the performance of a metric that, as I told you with the iPhone, and then you have the time. If it's a sustaining innovation, is because the performance of the technology you can actually utilize. As I said, you can use the iPhone, but you use only 10% of the capabilities of that. You use Spotify, Google Maps, and so on, but they keep incrementally using. Now, how many times you use your phone for make a phone call compared to sending money? So the phone is not longer a phone. It's more your bank, it's your map, it's your entertainment. So that's a new performance. So the iPhone, when it came out compared to the traditional phones, it was a disruptive innovation. So
I see.
And in order to answer that, there are a question that Clay Christensen and the Institute of Clay Christensen created. Does it target non-consumer or people who are overserved by an incumbent existing offering in the market? So let's wrap up in 1 second. It's very simple. It's does this technology targeting non-consumer, so people that are not using the technology? For example, I don't use my phone for, I don't have Instagram or other social media, but I use it for other things. Non-consumer, you need to find, as I was mentioning to you, those non-consumers. Second, is the offering not as good as an incumbent existing offering as judged by historical measure of performance? As I was telling you, is this new product not as good, but good enough? It's a little bit clunky, but the same is, let's use one example, ChatGPT. It was targeting non-consumers, right? People that you weren't using perhaps Google in a way that you were using it like a companion, but you started using it for a companion, right? It's good? Yeah, it's good. After a few iterations, when ChatGPT came out, it was a little bit clunky, but it was getting better. Is the innovation simpler to use, more convenient, or more affordable than the incumbent existing offering? Again, with the companion, well, if I need to go to therapy or I need to go to a psychiatrist or whatever, yeah, it's more convenient. I mean, I'm not going to spend, if I need to ask for an appointment, I need to pay X amount of money, and perhaps I'm okay with that. Does the offering have a technical enabler that can carry it up market and allow to improve? Well, we've seen that ChatGPT has been improving with the time. Is the technology paired with the business model innovation that will allow it to be sustainable? And I will let you answer that question. With the same with ChatGPT, what do you think about?
Yeah,
Why?
I mean, it's so accessible. Like everyone has a computer or a phone, and you can use ChatGPT on a device that you're already using.
Okay, how much is it ChatGPT per month?
$20.
$20. Okay, how sustainable is the subscription model for ChatGPT?
Probably not.
So is it a disruptive innovation?
Is it disruptive, or is it going to be sustainably disruptive?
I don't know. We're coming back to that point in 1 second. Are existing providers motivated to ignore the new innovation and are not threatened at the outset? Meaning, is Google saying, no, we don't care about that? Is Meta saying, no, we don't care about that? No, they do care. So it was very disruptive at the beginning, but now it's becoming a little bit, it is never completely disruptive, sustainable, a new market. It's so overlapping and evolving. So if ChatGPT doesn't find a business model that it will keep them making disruptive, they will, and eventually there will be a sustainable technology. It's the normal evolution.